Good morning, and start of another week. Getting over a cold, feeling a little bit better. What's on my mind today? Well, a news story kind of tweaked my ear, and I'll see if I can word this where it's not offending. And let's see. It has to do with fishing. Believe it or not, it has to do with fishing, and I can see it in crab, but I'm going to stick with the fishing thing. I'm talking about tribal rights and stuff like that. And in Washington, we kind of had this environmentalist thing going on in our heads longer than a lot of places, it seems. But the fact is that you got tribes saying that they can't fish the way they used to. They can't do how many days. You've got the commercial fishermen that are doing that. That's why I say I could go on crab too. I can go on shrimp. I can go on any of them. And I'm going to throw this out because it's more of a blanket than anything. And that is, it's a burden that we all share. That's nice to say your rights, but at some point, you got to realize that we all share the same burden. Okay? We've really messed up the natural culture for decades, if not hundreds of years, but definitely since the modern era. And to be able to bring that back from the brink at the same time the population growth is demanding is going to be a very daunting task. And if we don't, kind of like the idea that we should have seen this, looked ahead and realized that this was happening to the population decades ago, well, we should realize that it affects all of us, and things like treaties and all that stuff are going to have to be intermingled in the crowd, because we're all vying for the same fish. I say this because I've also, I know tribes. I've also experienced, I know the once. I mean, I get it. But I also have experienced the fishing level on a different plane with the indigenous tribes up in Alaska, and we're talking about whales. Now, you've got a culture that misses having their muktuk. That would be a culture. But we all know that through commercial fishing, and also other reasons, environmental or whatever, we've got a problem. And that problem is that whales are being killed, and there aren't near as many whales as there are as fish in the sea. Let's say it that way. So it kind of falls in the same line. At some point, we all have to realize that we're human and that we're all not only affecting the planet, but we need to think collectively as a whole for those resources, for the planet. It doesn't behoove anybody to turn around and say this is our culture, our tribe, and all this. It doesn't do you any good singling yourself out, because eventually that will be assimilated as well. I'll just say it that way. I don't have an answer except that, boy, we need to be doing a lot more talking about it. I watched the industry through crabbing, and I had to bow out, and that was my favorite food. I just couldn't do it anymore. I mean, literally won't touch crab. That's my favorite beyond all food. But what it was doing to me mentally and ripping my heart out, and watching the people, and I get it. And I just went, I had to step back in a major way. So there you go. Nothing but love, and have a good week. Wishing nothing but love.